Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Z Talk series. Today, I bring to you my friend and colleague, Greg Taffet. Greg Taffet owns a company called Taffet Associates. He started that here in recent years. I'm not going to steal his thunder, so I'm just going to say, he's a good friend, got a great company, he's got a great service, he has vast experience in IT. So definitely an asset to any organization that engages Greg and his talent. Definitely will not regret it. They'll definitely benefit from it. So without any further ado, Greg, thank you for being on this show. And then thank you in advance for speaking to my viewers and letting them know, who you are, what you do, and how they could benefit from your services. So I'll turn it over to you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This was a wonderful introduction.
You're welcome.
I have been in the computer industry doing, systems and consulting work now for over 30 years. I don't want to tell you actually how many.
Me too. Over 30 years, and we'll leave it there.
It's over 30, over 30. So, but I started in consulting when I first got out of college, and then a company made me an offer that I couldn't refuse to take on the CIO role there. And then we sold that company, and then I worked with the next company to help them grow. And most recently, I was the CIO at US Gas and Electric. And when we sold out to Creus Energy for, making a company at 1.5 billion, I started to think, what can I do now? And I didn't have to think that long because people started to say, Greg, can you help me? So I said, aha, I know what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
And I'm back in consulting again. So, now I'm able to provide, remote CIO services to people and companies and be able to provide interim CIO or even, when you have a high-end strategic or very tactical project that you need to find the right person for. Those are the type things that I can do where, in many cases you might look at a large consulting firm. I can provide the same quality at half the price. I've got a couple of people that I work with, we've been doing this now for a couple of years, and we have a bunch of customers who have renewed with us, and the project, goes on to the next project, and a couple of projects that we've successfully completed. And now with, a lot of this stay at home, we've started to work with a couple of nonprofits also, because giving back and being able to help them, succeed in their mission is, very important now for people who can't get out of the house and they still need the support of these organizations.
Right.
So, it's always good to, watch the bottom line, but at the same time, we got to be helpful to our neighbors and, work with the things that we can help with. So, I've been doing a lot of help in companies figuring out what their software requirements are. If there's a merger or acquisition, figuring out how the processes and procedures should work. If you need to add something, or if there's a new hole because of the acquisition, how to handle that with automation or process or people, there's always a solution to these things.
Mm-hmm.
This year, in the past 8 years, I've worked on IT Palooza, and it looks like that's going to go by the way this year. So, I'll have to tell everybody to wait for next year for the next CIO track at IT Palooza, which has always been a way of also giving back, because the money that we raised through IT Palooza was always used for scholarships for local students who wanted to study IT in college.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we're going to, continue to fund some of the students that we funded in the past, but it's not going to be able to increase anything because we've just, been able to, look at this and say we have some money, but not enough to, keep going and add more people this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Sadly, but that's the case today.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least, hopefully next year we'll be back again and,
We will.
doing that. I've also, partnered with the venture mentoring team, so that I am now a fully certified business mentor, to help startups and to work with mentoring, coaching, and consulting of startup companies in addition to large companies. And I've also partnered with a venture capital firm out of New York to be able to provide venture type services of sales accelerator programs, business consulting that's not just technical, and of course, venture investments, if that's the right type of service that is needed by these companies.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to the hands-on type software strategic and tactical consulting, I've now added these additional areas. And lastly, I've started partnering with a company out of Colombia to provide programming in open source environments. It's so much better to have somebody in the same time zone that
Right.
work with.
At a
and
good
that
rate,
speak,
right?
yes, at a good rate and can speak English, so that we're not, adjusting by 8 or 10 hours and they're up when we're up, and it makes it, much better, to work with these. And then, of course, I've got to tell everybody about, how passionate I am with marine ecology and scuba diving and surveying and doing a lot of the actual sea surveys out in the ocean, watching how our marine environment has been shifting. And it's been amazing the last few weeks, the resurgence of marine life along the coast here. I have recently seen some giant manta rays, swimming up and down the coast. They're much more prevalent than before because people aren't out in the ocean making all that noise that keeps all the animals away.
And much less smog. I saw some pictures out of Los Angeles of like Los Angeles, like 1 month into the pandemic, and you can see clearly for miles and miles where before all you saw was smog and just vague little mountains in the background. Now it's clear, or at least it was a month ago when I
Right,
last saw
right.
that picture.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, we can continue to work in this sort of remote way. Of course, as things loosen up a little bit, we will, of course, meet face to face sometimes. But I think it's ecologically and environmentally, a positive thing to have this mindset change that we can do more stuff remotely and meet only when it's necessary,
Right.
and keep the environment going in the right direction.
Well, definitely Zoom has benefited a lot from this pandemic situation that we're all in, and obviously, you know how they went from like what 10 million users to like 300 million overnight. Their valuation zoomed up to, sorry for the pun, but it zoomed up to $48 billion. I mean, but not just Zoom. I think every other video conferencing
Right.
company and solution has experienced very similar growth because of what you just said. We're now working more from home and going out when it's absolutely necessary that we have to go do something or see someone. But and that's what I'm looking at now in the future as what our new normal is going to look like. So there'll be a lot more of these, and I could do a full presentation on here with an engineer, design work, everything, right here on the computer, having myself, engineer, 2 or 3 of my client colleagues on there, and we can do a full meeting on one of these sessions, and everybody could be at home and or at work, depending on the combination. But I agree with you. This is going to be like a new normal going forward, and I'm ready for it. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have your clients ready for it too.
Oh, absolutely. And that's been some of the things that we've helped people pick the right video conferencing software. But, there's a word that Microsoft hates now, and that people are starting to use because they go to too many meetings and they're zoomed out. Microsoft wants it to be teamed out, but
I
I
know.
haven't heard that one as much as zoomed out. So
I know. I think Zoom, because they kind of got out there, and they were out there for a while, but then they put that free version out, and everybody just jumped on that. And I don't know if they were just lucky that they did that, or maybe people weren't aware that other companies had similar type of offerings. But definitely Zoom got the leg up, and Teams is very viable. I mean, we use
well,
Teams here at IT Savvy all the
Teams
time.
is very good, and now Google has made their Google Meet, free, and it's just out there ubiquitously, so that they don't want to be left behind. And if people are looking for a shareware, Jitsu is also a very viable open source project that's doing the meetings. So there's a lot of alternatives depending on what your needs and what type of environment you work in.
Awesome.
Good,
Well,
good.
I thank you for coming on today, Greg.
Thank you for having me.
And to recap, to my viewers and my network, Greg is a very valued friend and colleague, trustworthy, loyal, works hard, very smart, and definitely, if you're looking for those virtual CIO services like Greg was talking about, he has a whole portfolio of these services. When I post this up on my social media, I will put the links to Greg's website and wherever else he wants me to direct people. I will put that up here gladly for him, so that he can help you guys out if you need that help. On the flip side, when Greg's clients experience any needs for IT products and services that are beyond the scope of what he's doing, or enhance the scope of what he's doing, yeah, he calls this guy right here.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
this is how we work, and I'm very fortunate to have known Greg, and in the years that he was there at, like you mentioned, U.S. Gas and Creus, that's where I met Greg, and we kind of hit it off from the get-go, and we've been colleagues first, and then kind of evolved to friends over time. But that's how it works most of the time. So I do
That's
appreciate
it.
you coming
That's
on
it.
today. Say hi to your wife for me,
And you say hi to Tracy.
I sure will. She'll watch the video and know. So and I'm glad for all the support that you gave to her while she was there under your tutelage, and she's always been grateful and spoken very well about you. So
Well, she earned it all. So
yeah, she's doing good today. So she'll tell you about that one day when the four of us can safely meet again.
I look forward to that. I look forward
Me
to
too,
that.
my friend. Well, listen, thank you again, and I hope we can do another one of these in the near future. You're always welcome to be on this series anytime.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Take care.
Take care.